Hello, my name is Kayla. I'm from Sockeye Consulting. Today we're going to be talking about retainage. Retainage, also known as retention, is a portion of the agreed upon contract price deliberately withheld until the work is substantially complete to assure that the contractor or subcontractor satisfies their obligations and completes the construction project. So today I'm going to start by showing you a purchase order that will have retainage held on it. You'll want to make sure before trying to withhold retainage that your accounts payable and accounts receivable configuration have been enabled to include retainage, and then the transaction definition as well, which are the specific purchasing and order entry workflows, have been enabled for retainage. So if you look at purchase order and scroll down, you'll see that my checkbox is enabled for retainage. You have to have it posting to the general ledger or accounts payable in order to enable retainage, and it's not currently compatible with the change order workflow. So if I go into purchase orders, I'm going to go ahead and create a new one. You can set up vendors to have a default retainage percentage. That is what I've done here for Acme door and glass distributors. So once you select that vendor, you'll see that this default retainage percentage populates. This is really just to notify the user that this vendor does have a default retainage percentage of 10%. Usually, what I've seen in the construction industry is that will have a specific job, and that job has AP retainage or AR retainage. So we can accomplish the same automation with smart events and custom fields that will basically look at the job custom fields and populate the retainage appropriately based off the smart events that we give it. But for today, I'm just going to go through a standard purchase order transaction workflow. So you can see up here, I've selected my job. It is in the entries defaults. It's populated all of these fields. I went ahead and applied defaults. The dimensions are not shown on the screen. They're down here in the show more details. I'm going to go ahead and hide those details. This is where I'm going to select my item. I'm going to go ahead and populate a price. And you can see that the retainage percentage defaulted to that 10%, which has been populated here. I can either override that or I can continue on with the rest of my transactions in order to complete my purchase order. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase or post this purchase order. You don't have to enable retainage on the purchase order or on the commitment, but it does help to when you're going to convert the vendor invoice. Now that retainage has already been populated from that commitment. And so you can see that everything has carried over from the purchase order. Again, you have the columns here for retainage percentage. If you had anything that you needed to add, like freight or shipping as an item, you could do that here, and you could basically zero out the retainage percentage if you needed to. So this is where I'm going to post. Oops, and we're going to say your doc number. So now we've posted a vendor invoice. So now if we look in AP bills, we'll see that this is $600. But if we go and pay that bill, go to pay bills for Acme, that really you're only paying that $560 or $540, excuse me, because we're holding that $60 retainage. I'm not going to go through the payment today, but I am going to go ahead and show you then how to release retainage. So once we go and we've paid the bill, the retainage is sitting in our retainage account. This is where we'd go to release it. So this is where we'd put in a release date. I'm going to leave that as today's date, but I'm going to update the GL posting date to last month. So we're going to save and continue. I'm going to go ahead and add. So this is going to give you a list of all of your withheld retainage that has been done in the system. You can filter by job, which is most likely the case here, where you'd want to release all of the retainage that is posted to this job. I'm going to go ahead and add selected. And then I'm going to populate here the amount that we want to release. So we're going to release the full amount today. Put in the description. Just going to go ahead and release retainage. Oh, and it did give me an error that the GL posting date can't be before the original AP posting date. So that was today's date. So we'll go ahead and update that. And so basically the purchasing vendor invoice that we created had a date for today. So we were not able to release the retainage prior to that date. But now we've released that. So if we go back to our AP bills, we'll see our original bill here, which is $600, but we only have available 540 to pay on it. And then this one was 500. I withheld $50 here. And then we have our retainage that we released for $110. So now we can pay the vendor the full amount here. So now if we go into pay bills, we'll see all of the transactions available and select. So here, 450 was $500, and then 540 of the $600, and then the 110 of the retention. So now we can pay all of those, and that's how we would withhold retainage from purchasing an AP. I'll quickly go back through the AR side. One thing I want to show real quick is there is a customer aging report. Let's go to the AP bills, vendor aging. So there is an option here, show fully paid bills with outstanding retainage. If you want the retainage value, you'll go ahead and select this to yes. And then when we view our vendor aging, we'll now have the retainage balances as well. So you can see this still has a retainage balance. If we hadn't released the retainage for Acme, we would see that retainage balance here for that $110. Okay, now going through on the order entry side, just like we did for the purchase order, we'd come in here, we'd create our contract. So we'll go ahead and create test here. It'll populate our customer, show defaults. Go ahead and populate those. We're going to bypass the cost code and cost type today because this is just wanting to show you the retainage. Again, we're going to do $500 on this side. We're not going to utilize billing templates. We're going to go ahead and populate the 10% retainage. So just like on the vendor, we can populate the default retainage percentage on the customer. And then that would pre-default here when we're entering the retainage or when we're entering the entry. But I'm just going to override the retainage percentage today. I'm going to go ahead and post it. Now that that's posted, again, under accounts receivable invoices, we'll see that we have 2,500 posted. Again, just like we did in AP, we'll go ahead and release the retainage. This one doesn't have the GL posting date enabled, so it's going to just default from when we release it. It's going to use the same date from today. And there is no retainage percent, amount retained. So why didn't that? Oh, you know what? We didn't convert our contract to a contract invoice. So we need to convert that to an invoice so that it's posting to the subledger. Our contract's not posting quite yet to the subledger. Here's our retainage percent. Go ahead and post that. Now, if we go into AR, we'll see that contract here for $500, contract invoices. And then if we go into retainage to release that retainage, we're going to go ahead and add those transactions. This is where we'd select them, add selected. And then we'll populate the amount to release here, $50. We'll go ahead and release retainage. Again, you can populate a description if you wanted. Now that that's been released, once we go back to invoices, you'll see that we have a document sequence that we've put in the configuration for AR and AP for RET. So you'll know these are the retainage invoices. But you can create any type of document sequence here. So now you have that released here. And just like in AP, if we go to customer aging report, select the show fully paid invoices with outstanding retainage to yes in order to look at the retainage amounts on the aging. As of 30th. Oh, and if I go back, and if you mistakenly release retainage, you can easily go in and delete as long as you have configured the ability to delete and not reverse. So once I delete that, now I can go back to my customer aging and we'll see that on the aging view. So here's that $50 that we had created an invoice for. So now it's still withhold in the retainage balance. You can see that in the aging, and then release it appropriately. Thank you. Hopefully this helps with understanding the retainage process. Look forward to more videos soon. Thank you. Bye.